particular honor to do this. Otumba Gbenga Daniel, born 6 April 1956 in Ibadan, Oyo State. To a Christian parent, he is a Nigerian politician who served as Senator for Ogun East since 2023. He previously served as Governor of Ogun State from 2003 to 2011. He is the owner of Crystal Laurel, an electrochemical and electromechanical engineering company. He started in 1990. He's also the founder of the Conference Hotels with branches in Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, Abeokuta, and the Sherry part of Lagos. As governor, his programs on public-private partnership attracted several businesses into the state during his tenure. He attended the Baptist Boys High School, Abeokuta, 1969 to 1973. While there, he represented the school in debates and quiz competition, a factor that made him exceptionally popular among his contemporaries and stimulated his inclination towards intellectual pursuits. Having graduated from the Baptist High School in flying colors, he proceeded first to the School of Basic Studies at the Polytechnic Ibadan for his advanced level A-level, and thereafter moved to the School of Engineering of the University of Lagos. In his early years as an undergraduate, he won several scholarships and also became well acquainted with the renowned Professor Ayodele Awolabi as one of the best students of the late professor. He began his professional career as a lecturer in the School of Engineering at the Lagos State Polytechnic during the National Youth Service year. He proceeded to Metal Construction West Africa Limited, where he left as the Assistant Commercial Manager in 1983, I beg your pardon. He rose to the position of Deputy Managing Director, Ashnada, becoming the first African to hold such position in the company's history. You are all with me, that deserves some applause. In 2016, he was elected President of the Nigerian Finnish Business Council to succeed Ambassador Olusegun Olushola, who passed on to glory in 2012. Otumba Gbenga Daniel is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, FNSE, a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Engineers, FNAENG, and a fellow of the Institute of Directors, FIOD. He served as kitchen cabinet to Chief Obafemi Awolowo and was in charge of the student wing of the Unity Party of Nigeria in 1978. A member of Afenifere under the leadership of Pa Abraham Adesoya, and the financier of the National Democratic Coalition Nigeria, NADECO, providing support to members who were fleeing the country to seek asylum. Otumba Gbenga Daniel was appointed by the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee to head Media and Publicity Subcommittee of the APC Party, as well as member of the Contract Strategy Committee. He serves as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2023, and also the Chairman Senate Committee on Navy of the 10th Senate on August 8, 2023. I mean, there are a whole lot of things to read, and I just have to bring in words down to this. He has received honorary honors as a Georgian citizen, Secretary of State, State of Georgia, United States of America, Certificate of Recognition from the City of Detroit, State of Michigan in the United States. And he is a distinguished visitor to Miami-Dade County 2010. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me with a rousing applause as I welcome our theme speaker, where we look into the theme, boundless power, thriving together, timeless energy, the one, the only, Otumba Senator Gbenga Daniel, FNSE. FEN for
the 40th President of JCI Ikeja chapter. And by the special grace of God, happily, a man is taking over as the next 41st President. I want to recognize the national board members of JCI, and of course the chapter former presidents and now senators, all the very elder JCIs that are here. Senator, I'm very, very happy that when the abuse senators were not alone. So Senator Ogala, I recognize you. Senator Yokotade, I recognize you. Senator Ojo, I recognize you. Our darling Senator Ronke, I recognize you. I've been accused of always smiling, but today I met somebody who smiles better than I. My recognition. The only thing that he's chewing gum, I don't chew gum, but that guy, handsome, I recognize him. It's a sunny day, and just permit me in a special way to recognize and salute all the people who have put this program together. I wasn't forget the wonderful MC of this program. He took a picture and he was sure that with that picture he would get lots and plots of land in the state. I wish he would. Our DJ, and of course, that lady of song who sang so sonorously, and the band that has backed them up, I also recognize you. Must know why I'm giving these people special recognition. Once upon a time, musicians, MCs, DJs are poorly paid. But not with DJ Kubi, who is the daughter of maybe one of the richest Nigerians. And all the very wealthy musicians who can employ doctors, engineers. So these days and age, when you see musicians, please greet them properly, because you can't be too sure the depth of their pockets. But not only that, again, once upon a time, you are expected to dress well as highly educated people. I came in from England yesterday, and most of the people who sat were wearing sportswear. And I said, what is going on in Nigeria these days? That even big people now
dress down,
trying to copy the sports people, because we all know that one of the richest people now, especially the footballers. My son is well built, and many years ago he said, Dad, I want to play. And I said, please don't go and hold yourself. So these days he said, Dad, you see now, I'm getting too old to play. He's about 24, but he said he's too old to play. He said, my classmate is now playing for Man U, and you know what that means in terms of Naira and Copper. So I'm saying this because this is JCI. I'm not unaware of some of your objectives, the kind of education you have, and so on and so forth. Please recognize that the whole world is now changing. I asked the president while I sat with her, I said, what exactly do you do? She said she's a data analyst. In those days, we expect them to say, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm this, I'm an accountant. It doesn't happen any longer because these data analysts, this position, these first people, they are now employing all of us engineers. The whole world is changing. But by and large, let me say that I'm so happy and excited to be here today to talk briefly about what I've been told is just idiots. This is the problem with technology. In those days, we were waiting what we wanted to say down. But these days, if you bring a piece of paper like that, people will want to that it's old, should bring person. You have to put everything down. The topic that I've been asked to talk about is boundless bond, traveling together. And looking at that topic, boundless bond, traveling together, suggests two things automatically. That bonding is something that is inevitable as a success factor. And of course, going together with that is striving together. And you don't need to go too far. I'm not going to just read something. I will take this thing by way of discussion. And if you feel that you want to interrupt me, you can. And if you don't interrupt me, I'll spend about 15 minutes. Thereafter, you can ask me questions. And I'll be happy to take your questions. Any question, no hold back, anything under the sun, I will be happy to answer. Chief Obafemi said, my quote is September 14, in order that our unity may endure, we must labor after objectives and ideas that are noble, elevating, and capable of benefiting the vast majority of our people. I want to therefore start by extending my deep gratitude once again to the leadership of JCI Ikeja for this invitation. I was made to understand that JCI, with its mission to empower young people to create positive change, provides a platform for young leaders to connect, share ideas, and work together towards common goals and objectives. JCI, I'm told, plays a vital role in promoting unity and fosters a culture of collaboration that extends beyond individual efforts. I'm not so sure whether I have regrets because I didn't have the opportunity to join JCI. But as a young man, I was president of the Maryland Lions Club. And we used to harass everybody that when lions appear, we roar. And all the JCIs and all the Rotarians and Rotaractors should go and sit down when lions come on the scene. So JCI, from the totality of what I've seen, you have done very, very well. And if I look at some of the people who have become senators, I now understand where they're coming from. That let's say, Babatunde Obela, once again I greet and recognize you. Some of the information that was relayed here were not known in the public, and I think somebody must have found a clue to divulge some information. I'm not accusing you, but I just want to recognize you once again. Now, this gathering represents, in my opinion, a powerful movement to the depth of the themes, boundless bond, traveling together, which speaks of the importance of unity, collective effort, and shared responsibility in driving societal progress. It calls upon us to contemplate the intricate web of connections that shape our collective aspirations and, more importantly, how we might drive progress. Not as solitary actors, but as a cohesive unit, bound by purpose, leadership, and its core is the art of monitoring these bonds, not just for the present, but also for posterity. When I was thinking about this topic, there are 2 or 3 things that I have noticed, which I think is quite key in talking about bonding and collective efforts. First, I tried to look at our country and the various segments that makes our country. Of course, we know that many years ago, this was just about 3 regions here. The northern region, the eastern region, and the western region. And I tried to see whether there are elements of bonding in these regions. And I found out that yes, the eastern region are very well bonded. I don't know what they are bonded in. Maybe I'll throw it out for you to guess. The northern region, yes, they are also very well bonded. The western region, where probably most of us, I'm not so sure the bonding is strong enough in that area. What is the result of this bonding? Whether we like it or not, our brothers from the east are bonded in terms of business. And you see how they run their business. Very well bonded. You see a typical Igbo man with a big shop, doing business. And then you see 1 or 2, 3 young people, most likely from their villages. And after some time, 5, 10 years, you see that young man say he has obtained his freedom. And he has his own shop. And you will think that he's going to compete with his mentor. No. He still regards himself as a servant to his boss. And you know one thing, maybe some of you have not found out. Many years ago, I go to another market a lot to buy one thing or the other, electronic things, that, so go to another market. I just want to warn you, once you enter one shop, you better conclude everything you want to do, finish it in that shop. Because as you are entering that shop, about 2, 3, 4 will enter with you. They will find out what you are pricing. They will listen to the price that they're giving you. So you will deceive yourself and say, oh, let me go to another shop. Before you get there, they are already there with you. And they will hint the man that is there that this is the price that will pay you. So rather than you get a cheaper price, is either you get a higher price or you get at best the same. But what I found out is that by the time you go to 3, 4 shops, 5 shops, and you now decide what you want to buy, you'll be shocked that they are writing you receipt in that shop. The stuff is probably the first place you went. And I don't know whether anybody can achieve that kind of bonding. Whether we like it or not, that bonding has turned them into probably, in terms of commerce, the most successful in our land. Is that correct? Yes. Now, let's look at my brothers from the north. Those of us who have gone into politics know that they are very well bonded. And I found this out a number of times. A typical example, I was looking online. I think the mother of Yaragua died. And the number of politicians have gone to Katsina to pay homages. And then the boss, I don't know how many people saw it. There was the current VP seated in the bus. Next to him,
Atiku.
is Atiku, the former VP. And I looked at all of them. And I just say, we are just wasting time. These people are well bonded. They are together. And if people tell you that they are not bonded, we're telling lies. They are very well bonded. And whether we like it or not, because of that bonding, they have become the most successful set of politicians in the land. If you want to be realistic, Now let me come to Southwest. I don't see nobody here. And I can go to the typical example that I started with the brothers from the East. When my own people serve apprentice to learn tailoring of mechanic and all of that, then on the day of their graduation, they will have to go and find cordways, chin-ups and all of that and give it to the Oga who has trained them for God knows how many years. But that's not the end of the story. They have to bring cola nuts and all sorts of other things that possibly they cannot afford. All of this they have to provide for the boss. And then, rather than set them up, they now have to now do what they call Johnny Man. It's like an apprentice. So you now have to do Johnny Man, maybe for another 2, 3 or 4 years, for you to be able to buy your own sewing machine or whatever you need for your trade. And so we haven't seen enough success. And my thesis is that we are not seeing that success that we're supposed to see because our people are not bonding enough. Am I communicating? And there have been so many instances that we can talk about. In the business world, part of what I have noticed in our environment is that it is something that is most unusual to find, let's say, a one-man business from generation to generation. Most of the time, these businesses go down with the demise of the family. And I think part of what has gone wrong also is because we haven't learned the art of proper bonding and taking the effect of collective action. When we were going up, the biggest construction company by the day was JCI and Sons. Many of the JC people here will not know that. And we were all hoping and praying that, oh, these are the kind of, unfortunately, those organizations were not sustained. And the reason why they have not been sustained because there has been no bonding or collective action. I'm saying this so that we can look at practical experiences and see whether we can take deliberate action. And the JCI, the kind of interaction we are having, I believe we are in a position to continue to explain and educate our people that there is indeed a need for our people to bond. In this fashion, I go now to what you can call my own little experience. For progress and development and deep impact, this is what motivated some of us to foray from what you can call the positive confines of successful professional in the private sector to an interesting, intriguing, challenging, yet impactful public sector. And having built a highly successful business in a professional, highly complex process, driven by quality engineering business, with a niche on elevators as you are aware, escalators, UPS, material handling equipment, from a humble but noble beginning to become one of probably the best in the industry today. We went to the foray of practice. And a number of people have asked me, I remember that my first foray into politics, as you were told, was when I was the youngest member of the Chibaolo's Committee of Friends. I was once a haggard-looking boy from the University of Lagos, and I was then the president of the UPS. We called it Diamond Club at that time. I remember Pastor Tunde Bakari was my vice president. He became a very priest. Engineer Udele was our secretary. And that's how we started. I remember that one fine day, I think it was 1978, when the then military president, Olusegun Obasanjo, decided to lift the ban on political activities. And we were invited to 31 Park Lane. That used to be the residence of Chilolo and Papa. Bola Bobusowo, the then ferry journalist who ran Sunday Times, was the one who was looking after the media. So as OBJ was lifting the ban on political activities in 1978, all board that meeting, and all the people gathered at Papa. My father lived in Ibadan. And so on network news at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, he saw me amidst all these old people. Jibola again, one Jesuna, Eddie Madumako, FCK Adushuku, who are the people that I saw there? Rafi Jafojo, former deputy governor of Lagos Jakoni, and all these people. Olani Wajai, Ayade Wajo. And so one little boy was. The next day, my father go to the University of Lagos and said, look, mister, what's wrong with you? I asked you to go and study engineering. What are you doing amongst politicians? Did you see what happened during the wet here in Ibadan? When I had to reverse from Okebola to Malete, when houses were being burnt? No, you don't understand this process. It's not for you. So go and study engineering. Maybe when you finish your engineering and you have settled, then you can consider it. So beautifully, I just made a U-turn and forgot about politics. But of course, this is the plot. So now later, after engineering, I told my father that I'm an engineer. I don't know that I'm a current registered engineer. Am I now allowed? And he said, yes, you can go. I'm mentioning this because a number of our people these days, effectively, not a lot is happening in the private sector any longer. So when you try ABCD and you are not making it, the next thing I want to go and join politics. And you are coming to politics not to do anything better. I don't want to use the word stealing. Because quite a large number of so-called participants are there because everything has failed and they are looking for how to make it. But I do strongly feel that if there is group action, our friend used to say to us, you must remember the son of who you are, or you must also remember where you are coming from. If there is group action and it is group that decide to say, you go there, that group is probably going to be some kind of influence and controlling factor. And once you remember that you are going from that group, you will also try to ensure that you don't do wrong. It's also part of what I call group action and bond. So I'm giving you some little example. But let me now quickly also use myself as a case study. These days I see our colleagues, my government. No. That's the military sound. There's something like my government. Because it is democracy. And we are representing the people. So I keep telling my colleagues, don't say my government, no. Say our administration.